I'll go off on a tangent and then I won't tell you anything that I came here to tell you. So I think for me, I always feel like I leave calls more inspired and fired up, ready to go crush my business when I hear other people's stories on how they built their business. So I'm going to give you my story. I recently presented it for Ruth Schroner's team. And she was like, this is so powerful because I feel like most of the stories we hear are like straight shot to success. And while I've had success the entire time I've been a coach, the massive success that I was looking for has really compounded and shown up in 2020. But I just want to share my story on how I kept going despite maybe not making the money or being the rank that I felt like I should be for quite a while. But again, I still have had a lot of success throughout the business, and to me, this has been so life-changing. But and you can do it faster than me. There's a lot of people who have done it faster than me. So maybe you're like, well, I make way more money than that. Well, fucking awesome. Like, I'm really happy for you. So, but I'm just going to share my story with you. So I am going to share my screen. Actually, I want to move that before I share. There we go. Okay. Ding dong. All right. Here we go. Present. Okay. You have kids in the room, I tend to drop an F-bomb a lot. So earmuffs to them, or, put your headphones in or whatever. I just think it makes it more colorful, and I just really like that F word. So 5 lessons in 5 years. So this is my journey with Beachbody. I'm coming up on my 6-year anniversary in February, which is wild. And I've been full-time 5 years of that. Okay, so prior to coaching, I was a collegiate and competitive cheerleader. In 2013, when my husband and I got married, I decided to hang up my pom-poms and just devote what little extra time I had to our marriage and to our relationship. Cheerleading is like basically a full-time job. I was coaching and cheering myself, still as a very adult woman. And so it just took up a lot of my time. I was also a full-time bar manager. I worked at the same bar for 7 years and a different bar prior to that 2 years. So I was basically gone all day in school, all night at the bar, and then every weekend and certain weeknights cheerleading. So after we got married, I just decided, all right, this is it. I'm no longer going to be a cheerleader, except for the National Cheerleaders Association, which this would have been my 11th summer with the company, if there wasn't this thing called Corona-19. But anyways, so we got married in a fairy tale wedding at Disneyland. Like Chris said, I'm a huge Disney person. And so I was just really excited to start off our marriage on a strong foot. But basically, I added all of the foods and stuff that I had taken out for the wedding to get in shape, like times 10 after we got married. And I gained 10 pounds, what felt like overnight. It was probably about 4 months after our wedding, but I did what every girl does after her wedding and cut off all my hair. Really not sure why. You can see that in that picture. And on my frame, 10 pounds isn't really bad, but going from being a collegiate and competitive athlete to now my clothes are no longer fitting and having to buy bigger sizes, it just, for me, I was the most emotionally, mentally, physically unhappy that I'd ever been in my life. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm a newlywed, we just got married at Disneyland. Like, I should be so happy. But just inside, I was very miserable. And it was just this like constant toxic vicious cycle that I was going through, where I was like, I'm going to start Monday. And then Monday would come roll around and I'd be like, oh, I didn't sleep last night, so I'm not going to wake up early. Well, now I have to go to work. And then I'd go to work and I'd get 3 vanilla scones, a chai tea, and a hot chocolate, because I deserve that. Just for being alive. I don't know why people think they deserve all this stuff for just being alive. We really don't deserve it. And then I would feel like shit. My uniform would be too tight. I would be uncomfortable at work. And it was just this same thing week after week after week after week. I was buying wraps and juice cleanses and diet pills and all this dumb shit. And literally one day my husband just looked at me and he's like, no more of this. He's like, just come to the gym with me. But I was so exhausted from being alive, I was basically like a cat, that every time he had to go to the gym, I would take a nap. Like I took a nap every single day, which is not normal, right? I was just so exhausted. And so I had to do something. So, 20, this is like a year and a half after my wedding. 2014 rolls around, and my best friend tells me about a challenge group. She lost 9 pounds in 21 days. I was like, whatever you're doing, I'm going to do that because it's exactly what I need to lose that I gained from the wedding, which I've now been holding on to for over a year. So I'm in, whatever. The girl was like, okay, or my best friend was like, okay, I'll give you the girl's info. The lady messaged me, said, hey, we're doing 21-day fix. I said, hey, I got that. She's like, okay, you got to buy Shakeology. I was like, nope, not doing that. And she's like, you're in. Okay. So I'm in this group and I show up every single day for 21 days. I get 0 results because I didn't change my diet. I didn't drink Shakeology and I gave away my containers. But I hadn't worked out for 21 days straight in years. And I was like, I had felt this sense of accomplishment that I had not felt in so long, and I wanted to chase that feeling. So I signed up for the next group and the next and the next. And after 4 months, I had 0 results. It's crazy that you can work out for 4 months straight, eat like total shit, and have no results, right? It was weird. So I'm like, okay, well, I got to do something extreme. So 21-day fix extreme came out that next month. I purchased it. And for the life of me, I don't know why I did this, but in my head, I thought I would be more in it and more accountable if I started posting my workouts over on Instagram. I have no idea why. I had no followers, and that's why I didn't post them on Facebook, because I had a lot of friends on Facebook, but I thought it'd be less embarrassing over on Instagram, but more embarrassing to fail in front of other people. So I started posting my workouts, and people started messaging me and asking me if I was a coach and telling me I was inspiring. And I'm like, what are these weird words you're saying? I didn't know any coaches. I didn't follow any coaches. I was not even friends with the coach who was running the group that I was in. So I didn't know anything about coaching. And my coach, who had asked me multiple times to sign up, I finally was like, look, I've given you 7 of my friends over the last 5 months. You know, I'm having a great time. I'm going to keep drinking Shakeology. If I can make an extra $200 a month from this, then I'll do it. So I paid my $40, which I got reimbursed because I already bought the challenge pack, right? Signed up as a coach, freaked out. Literally, like, had a massive internal struggle. Like, oh my God, I'm that girl. I'm selling shit on the internet. Like, I'm a college graduate. Like, what am I doing? Like, what's wrong with me? Freaking out. So this first picture on the left here, that's me in Hawaii. I'm in Hawaii. My husband's right next to me, drinking my Shakeology. I brought my resistance bands and DVDs to Hawaii. Like, I was in it, y'all. Okay. And I am scrolling Facebook, sitting at the pool, and an upline posts about a Push to Emerald group. Now, I've done nothing. I've told no one. I've done nothing. Okay. I signed up February 26th. This is March 20th. Okay. I've done nothing. And she posts about a Push to Emerald groups. $10 buy-in. Anyone who goes Emerald by the 31st, so 11 days, gets to split the pot. Now, I have no reason to join this. I've done nothing. I haven't done any of the trainings. Like, they keep tagging me in. Nothing. Okay? But something was like, I could sign 2 people. That sounds really freaking easy. Like, no problem, right? So I PayPal my $10. I get added to some Go Green group. And it's like, welcome, make a list of 25 people, invite them all to join you, go Emerald, split, get the pot, right? Whatever. I made a list of 42 people because I am a type 3 on the Enneagram, which is the achiever. And so I spammed every person I had ever met. Even if I hadn't talked to them in 10 years, I was like, hey girl, you want to do 21-day fix? Legit. That was my invite. I don't recommend you doing that, but it got me moving. That was my first post. Literally, this is what it says. Workout, new hat, best meal of the day. So if you want to talk about the worst coming out as a coach post, that would be it. Like, what's in my cup? I mean, obviously it says Shakeology, but I mean, that could be poop for all people know. Like, this is a terrible coming out as a coach post. But guess what happened by March 31st? I signed 2 coaches to go Emerald. I hit Success Club 12, and I made $394 in 11 days. And this light bulb went off in my head that, wow, this could be the thing that gets me out of the bar. Now, I didn't want to be a full-time coach. That wasn't my dream. My dream was to go work for Nike. doing something in fashion. I have a merchandising management degree. I also have a community health degree. Like I have quite a few degrees that I wanted to use. So this wasn't what I was planning to do, but I knew if I could make enough money so I could leave the bar, I could go find something that I did love. And so that was my goal. From that moment on, that was my goal. And I came out of the gates running, like ego at the door. I was going to do whatever successful people told me to do. And by the end of that year, I went diamond in 4 months. I was hitting Success Club out of the park, 20, 30, 40, 50. Like no number was too big for me. I was just helping as many people as I could and building my team. I think I recruited 30 coaches that year. Obviously, we were a diamond team. And I ended up making $11,000. Now I was working full time. So that was a nice little bonus for me. And I thought, okay, like if I can work even harder and go up higher in the ranks, then this is going to be the thing that is going to leverage me to leave the bar. Obviously, I wasn't going to leave the bar making $11,000, but that was a nice little cushion, right? So 2016, January 8th, I'm at my husband's company holiday party. I get a phone call from my boss, which I thought was really weird. It's a Friday night. I didn't work weekends. And I go and check my messages. He just says, call me back. I go and call my boss back of 7 years. And in 2 minutes, he tells me, you don't work here anymore. The new owners think you're new negative and they don't want you around. And that was it. I had to pull my husband out of the party. He was an executive at this company, CFO. So I had to pull him out of the party while I'm bawling my eyes out, looking like a complete mess, and tell him that I've just lost my job. And oh, by the way, I have $61,000 in debt that you don't know anything about. Needless to say, he was a little shocked, and that was the worst moment of my life. But he's incredible. And he just looked at me and said, whatever you're stressed about, we got it. And the next day, a girl called me and was like, I got a position for you at a bar. If you want it, it's yours. I looked at John and said, what do you think we should do? And he said, well, what makes you the happiest? And I said, Beachbody. And he said, then let's go for it. So January 9th, 2016, I became a full-time Beachbody coach. I try to think back about what I did back then. I was still hitting big Success Club numbers, but my recruiting really went down. I think I only recruited about 19 coaches that year. And in my head, like I was full-time coach. I'm going to be earning 6 figures. I'm going to be 5-star diamond and beyond. And month 16 of my business, I missed Success Club by 1 point. Now, at this point in my business, I had never missed Success Club and I had never hit less than 10. So this was a huge blow to my ego. And I contemplated quitting for about a week. I'm like, well, if I can't even hit Success Club, then literally what the hell am I doing? Like, and I'm not putting anyone down, but that's just how I am. Again, type 3, like achieving is my jam. And I'm like, I work this full time and I can't even help 3 people. And it was in that moment that I decided that I really needed to show up differently in my business, that it wasn't good enough for me to just tell my team what to do, that I had to show them what to do. So for me, spoiler alert, my coach ended up quitting and didn't talk to me for 2 years prior to that. So I've never really had anyone helping me in the business. So I've made a lot of mistakes, but my hope is that I can share these mistakes with my team and that they don't make them, or that they can move through them faster than I did. So after I missed Success Club, I just had this pivot moment where I'm like, this isn't working. I'm not bringing any more money now that I've been a full-time coach for 6 months, and my team's not doing anything, and I'm barely recruiting anyone. And it was in that moment that I realized that I had to show people what to do, because not everyone is going to be a self-starter like me. And that was a huge chip on my shoulder for a long time. I never had a GSR. My coach was never available to help me because she worked during the day and I worked at night. Nobody was telling me how to do this. I didn't have an upline. Like I had all these chips on my shoulder, or like no one had to tell me or help me go diamond. I just did it all on my own. And I had to just let all that go and just realize that my job, when someone says yes to me as a coach, is to help them, walk them hand in hand to their goals. Now, that's not to say that you do everything for them, but I had to do more than I was doing then. And things really started changing when I started changing. But again, I only made $1,000 more than I made when I was working full time. So again, I'm like, something has to change. And this picture just cracks me up because I made this list. Again, Miss Success Club in July. So I made this list when I decided to change of what I was going to accomplish 1 year from that date. Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. So 2017, this is when I realized that there are no bad months in Beachbody. There are just bad attitudes. And I have one of the worst fucking attitudes of any person you will ever meet on the planet. Like, it's out of control. Okay? But that's just me. I just have a bad attitude. That's just who I am. So I realized I was pregnant in this picture. I had gone 1 star. In March of that year, I'd earned the New Leaders Conference, which was a dream for me. I was pregnant. We were having a girl. I was just so over the moon, but I just realized that I had really gotten in my head about how many people I could help. And I was too focused on what wasn't happening in my business rather than focused on the things that I should be doing. So I would tell myself, well, I've been a coach now for 2 years. I've been a coach now full time for over a year. I should be earning this. I should be this rank. I should be this much further. I should be getting these opportunities. All of these silly things that we tell ourselves. But if you're not putting in the work, you cannot be mad at the results you didn't get for the work you didn't do. And I'll tell you, I was still doing the same thing I was doing for 2 years, inviting 3 people a day, calling it good, like, sometimes filling out a tracker, not other times. And it was finally November, like literally this entire year has gone by, never missing Success Club, always in Success Club, right? But there'd be months where I wouldn't even recruit any coaches. And it was November 2017. Beachbody was hosting a November to Remember contest. It was like Tony Horton's last hurrah with double time. And whatever team of coaches, you could team up with one other coach on your team, sold the most double time challenge packs and won $1,000. Well, I teamed up with my dear friend Alex. She was a new coach on our team. She was super nervous. She didn't want to disappoint me. She was worried she wouldn't be able to hit high enough Success Club numbers for us to win. And I'm like, I don't care. I see potential in you. Like, she's a top 10 coach to me in my mind. I'm like, we're going to do great. We had our text thread. We shouted out every time we sent a cart, every time a cart completed, how many invites we were doing. Like, we were in communication all day, every day for the entire month of November. And I had not been hitting big numbers. Like, I had really gotten away from that. And I ended up hitting Success Club 45 that month. And she ended up hitting Success Club 16, which at that time was her highest ever. And we won. We won $1,000 a piece. And that's where I came up with no bad months, just bad attitudes. Because every person will tell you that the fall is hard, but things are only hard if we tell ourselves that they're hard. Okay? If you go in on the first of every month and say, this is going to be my best month in Beachbody, and then you do the work, then it will be your best month in Beachbody. Now, are there harder months? Sure. Okay, life is unpredictable. People go back to school and they're like, it's back to school. And it's like, you've done that for the last 9 years. Like, you should have it down by now, right? Like, people go crazy, right? People are like, oh, save them for the holidays. People will always have excuses, but there is no shortage of people that you can be talking to. And if you're telling yourself that you've ran out of people, no. You've ran out of people that you feel comfortable enough to talk to. There, you will never run out of people. There is 1 billion with a B, 1 billion people a day use Instagram. 1 billion. Have you invited them? No. You have a lot of people that you can be talking to. So every single month can be your best month if you decide that. All right. So now here I am. I'm a brand new mom. I'm a full-time coach now for almost 2 years. Still not bringing in very much money, right? And why is that? Because at that time, even though I had a lot of coaches, I was the only one doing anything, right? I wasn't finding women who wanted to work the business like I wanted to work the business. I was finding a lot of women who thought it would be nice to do this and get to be home with their daughter or their kids or have more time with their family or less stress. But when things are just, it would be nice, that's not going to get you out of bed in the morning. That's not going to get you results unless you demand it of yourself. Okay, 2018. So I got to attend New Leaders Conference. It was huge for me. I ended up signing a coach in July. She came from a larger team where she felt like she wasn't noticed and randomly, literally messaged me on Instagram and she's like, hey, I want to sign up with you. I've never talked to this person. I was like, okay. She ends up signing up and she went diamond in 30 days. And we went into 2-star qual. We held it and I got to open my second business center. And it was in that time that I was like, wow, I had never seen a person go diamond in 30 days. I had heard it was possible, but I was the best coach on my team and it took me 4 months to go diamond. So I'm like, wow, this is incredible. And I had a call with my corporate mentor and she asked me if my husband was a diamond on my team. And I'm like, he's not even an emerald. Now, I'd been a coach for 3 years at this point. And my husband wasn't even an emerald. Like, for those of you that understand volume, my other diamond was right under my husband. So yeah, I could, like, that could keep me up all night thinking about how much money I flushed down the toilet. Like, good fucking God. All right, well, this is fine. Everything's fine. And so we went 2-star and I got to open my second business center. And I'm like, you know what? Like, if people can go diamond in 30 days, then that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I made my husband diamond in 30 days and I made my second business center diamond in 30 days. And we went into 4-star qual. Well, the girl who got us a 2-star not only ended up dropped all the way down to coach and is no longer a coach on our team. So needless to say, we did not hold 4-star qual. The timing was all crazy and we ended up finishing 3-star qual in 2019. But anyways, so in 2018, the other diamond that was on my team, who was my best friend on the team, randomly sends me an email in the middle of the night. Like, and when I say best friend, I'm like glued at the hip, best friend. Sends me an email in the middle of the night, basically telling me I'm the worst person she's ever met. I only care about myself. And like 300 paragraphs more of terrible things. And that was another moment that I really contemplated just giving all of this up, because I'm like, if that's how people see me, somebody that was so close to me and that's someone that's on my team, like, how do other people see me, right? Because it wasn't like this person doesn't know me. So you're like, they don't even know you. No, she knew me very well. And that was really, really hard for me to come back to, but it was just another reminder of why I have to try as hard as I can with this business, because not everyone is going to see your heart. Not everyone is going to have the same vision as you. And not everyone is going to be happy for your success. And sometimes that's the breaks. And Trina Gray, who's one of my mentors in the business, she always says this business takes heart and armor, right? Like, you have to use your heart and create relationships, but then you have to know when to shield yourself, right? And that was one of those moments. And, you know, it's funny as reflecting now, because back then it seemed like such a huge blow, but I don't think I would have the business I have now if she was still a part of our team, because it was very negative, very just not good. And I don't think I would have the business I have now had that not had happened. So really it was a blessing in disguise. And it's the same with Missing Success Club. I don't think I would have the grit and tenacity that I have now had I never had missed it that 1 month, because I've never missed it again. So 2018. All right. So now we're a 2-star team. I have my second business center. I'm making a full-time income while getting to be home with my daughter. This picture of my daughter holding the Apple Watch is really, really special to me. So the year I lost my job, we went out to a really nice restaurant for my husband's birthday, and I have 2 older stepsons, and then one has a girlfriend, who now a fiance, and we went out to dinner and the bill was over $300. And I just lost my job. I had just my Beachbody income coming in, and all of that was going towards paying off my debt. And I could not afford to pay for my husband's birthday dinner. Now, he doesn't care, But for me, that was heart-wrenching. Like, I could cry right now just talking about it. And so after we hit 2-star, and I got my first 2-star bonus, I used it to buy him a brand new Apple Watch, and I had Chloe surprise him with that. And it just meant so much to me that I was able to use my success to gift him something, because he has done so much and taken the brunt of everything so that I could build this business. All right, 2019. So we literally hit 3-star in January, and I'm thinking, this is it. I mean, I'd had the goal and desire to be an elite team every single year. We hit Premier in 2018, and then we hit it again in 2019. But in my head, I'm like, this is it. We started off January 3-star. Like, I mean, gosh, we could be superstar by the end of the year, which was my goal. And we started off really strong. And somewhere around July, like right after Summit, which is weird, normally there's like this crazy wave of momentum, I just felt like my entire team just started flying south for the winter, and like nobody was around. I'm like, hello? Hey guys, anybody in that? Like, there was nobody. I don't know where they went. They all have a timeshare that I'm not privy to. I mean, I don't know where they go, but they go somewhere. And I knew, again, this was another pivotal moment. I'm like, you know, if we don't get some new diamonds, we'd only had one new diamond that entire year. If we don't get some new diamonds, we're not going to hit it. And nobody was pushing for it. And so around July, I started doing this thing. I'm like, you know what? I just got to take it back to basics. Another pivot moment for me. And I started doing a Help 100 challenge. Every single month, on the first of the month, I post a graphic and just say, hey, as a team, we're going to try to help 100 people as a team. Okay. Anytime you help anyone with anything, post it here. I started recognizing Success Club leaderboard every single day. This was something I never used to do, but every single day I update the cover photo in our team page of Success Club points, so that people can see that success goes beyond me, that other women on the team are helping others and having success. I started recognizing Emerald again, because I'm very into recognition. That's part of my love language, and that is very much my team's love language as well, is they love to be recognized. And I did a great job of recognition, but I found that beyond Success Club the first time and rank advancements, which are far and few between, there wasn't a whole lot of recognition, but people were still doing stuff, and they deserve to be recognized for that, right? And so I just started doing those little things and recognizing Emerald again. And we ended the year a 1-star team, and I was the star. So needless to say, we did not hit elite. We hit Premier by the skin of our teeth, not in points. Points we always have well over. But that was heartbreaking to me, because I'm like, this is my year. I mean, we started off the very first elite report, number 26 in the company. I'm like, top 10, superstar top 10. That was my goal. I even posted that on social media. And for the 3rd year in a row, on Thanksgiving, next day, I had to post that we missed elite again, because I'm very, very forward and just honest about what my business looks like, so that women watching will understand that it's not just all swag and trips and fun. I want them to understand that there's hard work, there's failures, there's sacrifices, but all of that leads to the ultimate goal of creating this life that I'm dreaming of creating, right? So here's some of the graphics that I started creating. As you can see, the Success Club board, this was an end of the month board. There wasn't a lot of names on it, right? That size 52 font, right? Trying to make it look good, make those pumpkins huge, fill that bitch up, right? Like, don't let people know there's no names on it. All right. So at the end of this year, at the end of every year, I send out a text to all my active coaches, and I simply just say, hey, I'm just checking in. I would love to hear, your 2020 goals, whether that's discount coach or superstar diamond. Please let me know how I can support you. This is a great way for me to gauge who's actually wanting to work their business, because most people aren't going to just text you and be like, oh, I think I want to work my business now, right? People need to have you reach out and extend a hand to them. And so not a lot of my coaches were really wanting to do anything. And honestly, at this point, I knew we missed elite. I wasn't having any fun. None of my coaches were hitting Success Club. I was just not in a good place in my business, and it was really affecting me mentally. And I'm like, when am I having the most fun in this business? When I am running and I have someone to run with. And there were two people on my team that I noticed that were running. And one was 5 levels deep from me. So my PS's husband's PS. She was crushing it. Literally just text her. That diamond that quit didn't like me texting her coaches. So I never text any coaches for a year and a half prior to that. And I finally was like, you have to get over that. Just text her and was like, hey, I see you're crushing it. Would you like to set up a call and talk about goals? And she was over the moon that I noticed her, because I know how much it meant to me, even though my coach didn't end up working out. If she hadn't noticed me, what would my life look like? Would I even be a mom? Would I still be $61,000 in debt? Would I still be at the bar? Would I still be 10 pounds heavier? There's so many what ifs. I don't want to think about what if she hadn't noticed me. And so it became really important for me to start noticing people, whether they benefited my rank or not, which was a huge disconnect that I had for so long. Well, she's not going to rank advance us. Or, well, I'm not going to build John to diamond because he's on the same leg as the other. Like all these stupid things that we tell ourselves. But movement is movement. So maybe you don't advance in rank. Like right now, I have 2 diamonds on the same leg and I'm, whatever, right? It doesn't matter. Movement is movement. Success is success. So I reached out to her and I reached out to another one and we set up a call and we Zoomed in January and they're like, I think I'm going to be diamond by Summit. And I'm like, the hell are you talking about? No, you're going to be diamond next month. And guess what? One of them did it. And then the other one did it the next month. And those 2 going diamond set off this ripple effect like you wouldn't believe. So Kristen went diamond, and then Emily went diamond, and then Hannah got her diamond back, which got us back to 2-star. And then Kayla went diamond, and then Alex went diamond. And then I think all of a sudden my PS were like, hey, why are all these people going diamond? And the month of April 2020, just a preference, first week of April, I was a 1-star diamond. On April 28th, we woke up in 6-star qual. The month of April 2020, I made $13,000. And I started the month as a 1-star diamond. So if that doesn't tell you that a week in Beachbody can change your entire life, I don't really know what else to tell you. Let me finish 2019 here. So here we go. 3-star diamond, full-time coach, made a little under $70,000. And my friend Julianne Condia, who's 10-star diamond, she's like, you're going to double that next year. And I'm like, this chick's crazy. Like, what the hell is she talking about? I'm like, I haven't doubled any of my years. So why would that happen? Right? Well, 2020 has blown every expectation I've ever had out of this business out of the water. So I'll tell you, for a long time, I felt very lonely. It's very lonely at the top. It's very lonely when you're the only one having success. And that was my limiting belief, that I wasn't capable of helping others find success. And I had to just let go of that because that wasn't fun for me. It wasn't serving me. And our brain will always find evidence to support what you tell it. So that's what I told myself. So that's what I found. So I just told you what happened in April. Well, we had a little contest for a Disney retreat. We did a 6-week push. And by the end of the 6-week push, I had 5 more coaches go diamond. And then in the next month, I had 2 more coaches go diamond, which is how we got to 8-star and 5-star. It's crazy because on the day that we went 6-star, these 5 incredible women showed up at my house with champagne, surprised me with a diamond ring, by the way, which is still insane to me. We had our first diamond retreat in Arizona. All of them attended. Like, it's just amazing what happens when you don't give up. It's just amazing what happens when you miss the goal. You keep the goal, you just change the plan. Because your dreams are worth your effort, whether it's in your fitness, your nutrition, your business, your relationships. It's all worth your effort, because eventually you will get to where you are going if you don't give up. But if you never get started, if you have every reason why it won't work, or why it's not the right time, or why it's too hard, or why someone's moving faster than you, well, then you'll get exactly what you have now. And if you're unhappy with what you have now, then you have to do something different. And I'm not saying everything that you're doing is wrong. You might be doing all the right things. It might just be that you don't believe that it's actually going to work. Because without belief in any of it, fitness, nutrition, business, relationships, without belief, none of it will ever work. Even if you're doing all the right things. I firmly believe I've been doing all of the right things for the last 5 years. And just now, the grand things that I dreamed about and wanted have come to fruition. I've been saying since 2015, I will be a 6-figure earner. You know that stat that says 82% of women will make $100,000 this year, or sorry, whatever it is, 82% of women who make $100,000 this year will do it with network marketing? I've been sharing that stat since 2015 when I made $11,000. I had the guts to believe that I could be a 6-figure earner in this business. Now, maybe some people did it faster than me. That's fine. We're not on the same journey. And maybe there's some people who have been a coach longer than me and they're not even close. But I know that I wouldn't have the business that I have now if I had given up when all those setbacks or all those yearly incomes that were nowhere near what I thought they should be. But I can look back now and say, you weren't putting in the work to be a 6-figure earner. Yes, you were hitting Success Club. Yes, you were bringing in coaches, but it's just a different kind of work. It's a work on yourself, because you have to become the person that is capable of achieving those things that you want. And I don't think that I was her. So 2020, this is now what our graphics look like. This is now what our leaderboards look like. We're now trying to help 300 lives and 200 coaches. By the way, it took us 6 months to help 100 people as a team. 6 months. I'm willing to do the same thing over and over and over again until it catches fire, because I believe that it will work. And I know it will, because there's too many success stories to tell me that it doesn't. So maybe you'll have to find your small tweak. I have this stupid story about shampoo. I use Kevin Murphy and he has square bottles. It's the most asinine thing I've ever heard of. It's literally impossible to squeeze it out. So you have to take the lid off and you have to smack it to get the fucking shampoo out. It's ridiculous. I keep buying it though. So one day I'm smacking it. I also have arthritis, so it's really hard for me to do that, but that's neither here nor there, right? I'm smacking it. It's not coming out. I literally flip it, smack it, everywhere. I was doing the same thing. I made one small tweak, explosion. I've been doing all of this for 5 years. I made one small tweak and just decided to run with whoever wanted to run. Explosion. So here we are, 2020. This is current as of today's paycheck. I am a little under $3,000 until I double last year's salary. Obviously, insert Beachbody income disclaimer. Beachbody does not guarantee income. It's all based off of your own diligence and skill. But this is what I dreamed of. This is the life that I dreamed of, and I'm just getting started. And trust me, I've had all the reasons to give up. I mean, I was a full-time coach. I made $12,000. I mean, like, that's poverty. Like, what the hell's going on? I mean, obviously, I have my husband, but Lord, if I was on my own, like, what the hell? But now, no matter what happens, I can take care of me and my daughter. God forbid anything happens. Don't have to worry about that. And that's important to me. So whatever is important to you, you've got to grab a hold of that. And you have to run like hell, no matter if you're moving, no matter if it's hard, no matter if you get diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, no matter if you drop rank, if you miss Success Club, if someone sends you a mean message. I've had every mean fucking message on the internet sent to me. Tell you that. So if somebody messages you and says, you make it look fun, but you don't even want your baby, you let me know, because I got that message. So it doesn't matter what other people do. It matters what you do to build this business. That's what I have for you.
That's pretty powerful stuff. I think everybody's crying. I'm not crying. I don't cry. But a lot of people talking about crying and clapping and hollering F-bombs. And so I love the progress that you've shown as well. And, you know, and part of the, you know, part of the business is there's ebbs and flows. So like it's weird because, you know, I've gone through that same kind of deal where I've got, you know, formerly elite coaches, you know, multi-time elite coaches who are emeralds now, and, you know, don't want anything to do with the business. But, you know, so you just keep looking for more people and keep finding more people and looking for the people that are looking for you. You know, my takeaways, and then I'm going to open it up. There's so many people saying in the thread. So let you talk about the things I got. I love no bad months, just bad attitudes. I love the business takes heart, but it also takes armor. You know, I can certainly appreciate that. Again, it didn't really bother me, but I know it bothers some people. Some people are more sensitive. I love Emerald again. I don't remember. I heard that recently, and it might have actually been from a conversation with you, but I love that. Texting all of the people and just saying, hey, you want to be a discount coach, or you're going to crush this year? And, you know, what's the worst they can do? You know, even if they're inactive, what's the worst they can do? You know, because I mean, I know sometimes when you send that message, you're like, oh, you know what? I'm glad you reached out. How do I cancel? But, you know, that's fine. Some people are going to do that. And you know what I would love to see? I would love to see your source or that link for that 82% stat, because I think that people, you know, if you'll get that to me later, I'll put it in the team pages. And then I'm going to just be quiet, and you guys unmute yourself if somebody's got something you want to say.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Just going to jump right in there because you made me cry. Holy cow. And it's like good emotional. And I just have to say that, like, and Chris probably, she cries about everything. Chris knows me. But it's like, Chris can sit there and tell me the same thing over and over again. And Chris's journey was so different. And it's so hard to look at him and be like, dude, my life is so different. Like, I can't do it like that. You know, I can, but I can't. And you sit there and you're just like, is this even possible? Like, we've talked about our mindset a lot lately and how sometimes you think you're not deserving of a lifestyle like that. I don't even know why it hit me so hard. I took some really good notes because you were just like killing it. And of course, Chris already said some, but I think one of my favorites, like, I want to make a meme with like Ross saying pivot and like stick it on my stuff. And it's like the minute that I think I'm not doing something right when it comes to Beachbody Girl, pivot, you know, and that's all I can think about. I literally wrote down every year how much money you made. And I don't even know why my mind said to do it, but I did it. And we got to that last one and I was like, holy shit. And I was like, oh, thank God I'm muted right now. Because it just like came out. And it was one of those things where, again, it's like your story is so different. Your story is so similar to some of us. Like, I still have like 100 pounds to lose, you know, but I'm still going. And you had 10, but that was your 100. You know what I'm saying? And you had this different background, but you were still trying to figure out. And you're like, I feel like I'm in this hole. How am I going to get out? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I always tell Chris. Like, I think, unfortunately, I use my being a single mom crutch a lot, and being heavy a lot, and having to have 2 jobs is a crutch a lot. But it's like, oh my God, it's like you just had thing after thing after thing, and you still succeeded. And I don't know how else to say it, but like, your story just finally told me, like, I am deserving. Like, why not? Don't say that anymore. Just say I am deserving. And this is going to be me. And that's it. I'm just going to shut up because I'm sure everybody else wants to talk. But I just want you to know that it meant a lot. And I don't even know why I'm crying so much, but it was awesome.
Thank you. I have, when I made that post that we missed a lead again, I had a discount coach who had been inactive for almost 2 years reach out to me and say, hey, I want to help you with that goal. And in my head, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she's like, I said, oh, really? You want to go diamond? Like, I mean, that's just me. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, this person's inactive. Like, you've done nothing. Like, what the hell are you talking about? And she's like, what's diamond? And I'm like, wait, what the hell's going on? And I told her, not even kidding you, she went diamond in April, 1 star in May, and Alana Molstead just shared her. She's lost 70 pounds with 2B Mindset and is literally an entirely different person. You guys should go look her up, Rising and Thriving Steph, I believe, or you can just go to Alana's page, but she literally just shared her. But what if I hadn't made that post? What if she didn't have that kind of heart that was like, hey, I want to help you, even though she'd been an inactive, literally done nothing on our team. And she ordered Morning Meltdown completion pack that next day, and her journey, her life is forever changed. And she is one of the leaders on my team now. So it's never too late. Why not you? Why not now? If you don't do it, somebody else will. And again, there's too many success stories for you to say that this doesn't work. There's too many examples for you to see that other people can do it. So why not you?
Okay, guys, just unmute yourself. Christina doesn't like when I say the other thing, so unmute yourself.
I just was gonna appreciate the part of your story towards the end when you said, run with the running, and that's where you have fun in this business. I've also been in the business since 2015, and I have the most fun when I'm working in the business and I'm doing it hard. I do not have fun when I'm like half-assing it, or when I'm like halfway in putting out posts and I am avoiding checking my challengers or whatever. Not fun, just feels like extra weight and not cool. And so I gotta credit my girls who are on this call, because they were like, Laura, you gotta get in the group. You gotta get in the group. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell the group is, but sure, I'll get in the group, And then I'm like, there's two fucking calls. Are you kidding me? I'm like, and we're posting our BATs. Oh God. But I'm in the group and I'm actually feeling better than I have in months. And it's just really, I really am so grateful. And I think that quote just resonates with me so much. And I know that about myself, but hearing it from your perspective is so powerful. And I'm really appreciative. And, this whole thing, for people who have been in the business for a while, it definitely has some legs to hear to hear a story that wasn't diamond in 1 week and now I'm making 6 figures in 6 months or whatever, So thank you.
Yeah. It's funny. One of my coaches, she always says the only time this business isn't fun is when you're not doing it. And it's so true, because it's never the people who are working really hard that are like, I'm overwhelmed. It's always the people who are not doing anything, who don't show up, who don't post their stuff, who don't get on team calls, who don't do their trackers. Those are the people that are overwhelmed. I have never felt overwhelmed with my business when I'm actually doing it. It's only when I'm thinking about doing it that when it feels so hard or so daunting. And then I have to smack myself and say, are you fucking kidding me? Posting a picture of yourself on the internet and sending messages, there's actually hard things like saving people from burning buildings or doing brain surgery on babies. That's hard. What we do is not. And if you think about that money that I just showed you from dancing around in my kitchen with Energize, there's a lot harder things, people. Okay. I'm not signing up for that. I'm going to sign up for this because this is awesome.
I have something to say. Thank you so much. You give me so much life. One thing that I really admire about you is how you put out into the universe what you're looking for. I love following all your posts, and I feel like too oftentimes coaches are like, I can't find working coaches. And so with my coaches, I'm like, you have to talk about coaching. You have to share what it's done for your life. Like if you're just talking about your workouts and how life-changing they are, that's what you're going to attract. So can you talk a little bit about that? Did you have a shift with that in 2020?
Yes. So, again, I've always brought in coaches, and when we started the whole Emerald Again thing, again, type 3 on the Enneagram, like I'm always like, oh, I gotta 10x everything. Like I just love it. But anyways, so I'm like, well, my goal should be to go diamond again. And I felt like I needed to have a set metric that of how many coaches I was going to bring in each month. Otherwise, it wasn't something that I was focusing on. Like if I brought in 2 or the next month I brought in 15, I'm like, okay, well that balances out because, I'm like, no, you need to have a set metric. And I love the idea of going diamond again, because then that means I'm helping at least 2 coaches a month go emerald. And someone told me in the very beginning, just keep growing emeralds and you'll have a successful business. And it's true, because why do people not get diamond? Because they can't get people to go emerald. Why do people drop diamond? Because their emeralds drop, right? Emerald is really the lifeblood of everything in our business. So if you can just keep growing people to emerald, you're going to have a sustainable business, and hopefully they'll grow beyond that. But anyways, so every March I do a birthday booty camp, and whatever age I'm turning is how many people I'm taking into the group. And this is all just for marketing purposes, right? Like I'll take as many people as I want. But anyways, so this year I turned 36 and I was doing 36 for 36. But instead of a boot camp, I decided, you know what? If I really am trying to be a top coach, which I am trying to be the top coach. That is my goal. I have to bring in more people than I'm currently bringing in, because I do bring in a lot of people. I hit high Success Club numbers. I average Success Club 45, right? So I should be bringing in more coaches. And so I just had to make this shift that I'm no longer talking about boot camps. Now, tailor this to wherever you're at in your business, right? And I still advertise boot camps, don't get me wrong. But as far as if you go to my Instagram, 99% of my posts are about coaching. Why? Because I want to attract coaches. And I am not going to attract hardworking women if all I'm talking about is fitness and all of that stuff. I mean, I never talk about nutrition anyways, because that's not my thing. I don't even cook, but whatever. Right? So I'm like, I'm only talking about coaching. So I adopted this idea of every post I make is through the lens of a coach. So if it's a Transformation Tuesday, it's because coaching taught me discipline. Coaching allows me VIP access to these programs. Coaching taught me to show up when it's hard. Not, hey, I just did this 30-day program and I lost 6 inches. I mean, that'd be crazy for me to lose 6 inches. Anyways, whatever, right? Like it's no longer about fitness. I'm not a girl on a fitness journey. I am a business owner who runs a team of women who coach others, okay? So all of my posts are through the lens of a coach, right? It doesn't matter what the picture is. Everything I'm talking about is coaching. So lifestyle, fitness, family, finances, all of it is through the lens of a coach, and all roads lead back to coaching. So it was in February that I decided, okay, for my birthday, I'm doing 36 for 36. I made a graphic, said I'm taking 36 coaches onto my team for my 36th birthday. I posted the graphic every single day. Now I do that anyways because I think it helps create FOMO, but halfway through the month, I had 1 name on it, and I was so embarrassed. Now I was in Success Club, but I couldn't put customers' names on it because it was a coaching list. And I made a boot camp graphic, and I'm like, no, like I'm like freaking out. I'm like, don't post it. You just stay it. And by the end of the month, I ended up signing 10 coaches. And then I did the same thing next month of I'm taking this many women into my coach mentorship, and that's all I'm talking about, right? And then every time I'm talking about joining me, I'm giving them the option to join as a coach or join, just workouts, whatever, right? And then I signed 10 more in April. And then I signed 10 more coaches in May. And then 10 more in June. And then on launch day, I signed 11 coaches on MBF launch day and ended up signing 17 that month. All because I just stuck it out. Now, a lot of people will be like, well, I don't have any names on the graphic, so I don't want to post it. Okay, then work harder to get names on the graphic, right? We have to stop coming up with excuses why we can't do something. You can absolutely do it, right? Go talk to more people. Go follow up. Did you know that 80% of consumers don't purchase until they've been touched 7 to 12 times? Are you following up 7 to 12 times? Because I am. I will follow up until one of us dies. If you have expressed interest, and by interest means you're following me, you like my content, you've taken a poll, even by accident, you sent me a message. If you're in my business in any way, I am inviting you to my business. Because why wouldn't I? It's not up for me to decide who gets to do this. I'm not God. I don't get to say, well, she doesn't get to be a Beachbody coach. I'm not going to reach out to her. No. If you're in my business, I'm going to invite you to my business. I mean, there's nothing more personal than you watching my story. You're literally in my daughter's bedroom. That's pretty freaking personal. So I don't have a problem reaching out to you because you've expressed interest in me. So to me, I think it's okay to invite you. And that's just how I lead my business. So I lead with the coaching opportunity. Everybody who says yes to a challenge pack gets the offer to be a team member. But because of the way I present my stories and my posts, I do have a lot of people who are interested in the business versus just a discount.
Thanks.
I have a simple question, if it's okay. Actually, two really quick ones. So since some of us, I was in Emerald and then went down and then have to go back up. I think one of the things a lot of us newer people struggle with is signing people up as a coach early on in our journey as well. And it went really well for a bit there. What is your way of wording it? Because some people don't want to pay that extra money. Some people don't see themselves doing that. And I get it, right? Totally cool. But what is your advice on that? And then the second thing I was going to ask you, I wrote it on here, but you were talking about posting things as a coach. I know that you can post some pretty awesome stuff about how your life has transformed and changed, but some of us are just at that beginning. And even though we are looking for those coaches for us to become Emerald one day, what will you suggest for somebody who's such a lower rank to post? Because we don't have big things to share, but we might have some smaller ones. I just can't think of it.
Right. So I'm telling you that you don't have to prove anything to anyone. And me posting that I made $20,000 last month, which I can't now, it is not realistic. You know, most people, if they had a $300 emergency, couldn't afford to pay for it. So you saying, hey, I made $28 this month helping others get healthy and fit, or I made $100 this month that paid for groceries or put gas in my car or paid for my daughter's swim lesson, whatever, right? That's realistic. That's what people need. Most people would kill for an extra $1,000 a month. Like, I wish I had posted back then when I was like, oh, it's not enough. It's not impressive enough. But it is impressive. You're getting healthy and getting paid to get fit. That is super impressive. And again, it's extra money for doing something that you already love, trying to take care of yourself and be a better mom and be a better whatever you are, right? That's impressive. We can't worry about what people think is impressive, and you don't have to prove anything to anyone, because guess what? Emerald, Diamond, Success Club, those are silly words that don't mean anything to anyone outside of here. So you can make your successes as grand as you want, because no one knows what Emerald is. But if you're excited about it, people will be excited about it. And guess what? You don't have to prove anything to anyone, again, right? But what you do need to do is paint a vision of where you're going, because excellent people don't get in the car with average people. So you have to paint the vision of where you want to take this business until that comes a reality. Again, I've been saying since 2015, I will be a six-figure earner. 5 years later, okay, that's now true, but I still had the guts to say it every single year. I still had the guts to put out that I would be a top 10 team last year. Guess what? We weren't a top 10 team last year. I said it again this year. Guess what? We're not a top 10 team. Okay? I'm painting the vision of where I am going so that others who have those plans too can come with me. Because people aren't going to join a wishy-washy person. They're going to join someone who's going somewhere. One of my star diamonds on my team, she had other options. Other people had asked her to join. But one was really wishy-washy and was like, I just really like the community. And I was over here being like, I'm going to be a six-figure earner. Guess who she joined? Me. Because she knew I was going somewhere. And that was her plan too. So you paint the vision of what you're hoping to do with income that you might make, what you're hoping to do with your fitness and your nutrition, what you're hoping to do for your family, right? Like maybe your dream is to take your kids to Disneyland, right? If they ever open again, right? That's something you talk about. I'm going to use my coaching money to take my family on a vacation that we deserve. So I'm working really hard. I'm waking up early and I'm staying up late. I'm doing my workouts because I need to be the best mom for my kids. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You just have to be a real person.
Man, that's a lot of notes. That's a lot of chatting, and we have a lot of guest speakers, but I really love when you come on. It's powerful stuff and super authentic. So thank you so much for stepping in at the short notice, and message me anytime that I can help you. look at your back office, and I'm pretty sure that we'll see you in the top 10. I don't have any doubt. So very cool. So a lot of you are going to be like, I remember when she was in the team call for us, and she said, I'm going to go 10-star or top 10. And look at that. She's top 10. She's the top coach. So very cool. We'll all be like, I remember her. I knew her when. So fantastic. Thanks everybody for being on the call. Danny, send me the 82% thing, and I will share it with everybody else. Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much, and we'll see you everybody. Bye.
Thank you guys. Bye.